Hello, this is Lauren from FuturesTradingCompany.net, and this is a recap of our trading for the morning of December 12th, 2011. We had a very nice morning, great trades, 5 for 5 this morning, and I'll show you each one of the trades. The market during the Globex session had actually been selling off into the open in New York at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific time. And let me just scroll over here. As you can see, this is during the Globex session. Pretty good sell-off. I think we were down about 100 points or so at that point. So coming into the cash market here, open at 6:30, I was looking to take a short trade. What I was wanting to have happen here was the price to do a nice retracement for me and then get me a entry trigger for the short. And so that's what I was waiting for as the market opened. And here is where that occurred. Price came back up here, tagged our 89 exponential moving average. The JTHMA rolled over from long to short, and we had an entry trigger fire on this bar for an entry short at 12.079. We hit our first two targets of 10 and 15 points, and then we were using an SAR trailing stop. You can see price sold off very sharply. And our got to a low of actually 12.949 low here. Our stop on the SAR trailing stop, that's a modified SAR, was at 2 points above 11.958. So we were stopped out on that trade at 11.960 for a total of 119 points on our trailing contract and 25 points total on the first two targets that we hit on that trade. Our next trade came at 7:15. And just so you know, all times that I refer to are Pacific time. I am located in Washington State here on the West Coast. The trade at 7:15 was a breakout trade of this little pivot that was formed after we had put in a double top here, and again back to the 89 exponential moving average, a rollover on my JTHMA, and even though we didn't get a trigger on firing, this was a very good price pattern setup, one that we often take. And so we were short here at 11.962. We reached our first two profit objectives, 9.52 and 9.47. And once again, I was using the SAR, modified SAR trailing stop, and that got us stopped out of that trade at 11.948. So on the second trade of the day, plus 39 ticks. Then our next trade came at 7:54, and I will scroll over and show you that. And once again, price had moved back up, tagged the 89 exponential moving average. I got a trigger, and so this was a trigger entry to go short. I was short at 11.942. My stop was put up above this little swing high here, 2 ticks above it. So our stop was at 11.954, and basically the low on the trade was 11.939 before price turned against the trade and stopped us out fairly quickly. at 11,954 on the 3 contracts. So that was a 12 tick loss, 12 points on 3 contracts. So that was minus 36 points on that trade. Our next trade came at 814. I take that back. It came at, I wrote that down on my sheet, but our trade was here at 807, 810, 809 is when we actually got into that trade. And that, again, was a price pattern along with the trigger, which fired here short at 808. And so I did not enter the trade below that bar. I waited until we had a breakout of this bar. The low of that bar was 11,943. So our entry was 11,942. We hit our first 2 profit objectives, 932 and 927. Again, using the SAR trailing stop, we were stopped out at 11,929. So made up for the third trade with plus 38 ticks on that particular trade. And then our last trade of the morning came at 842. And here you see that again after the tag of the 89 exponential moving average. Price had rolled over, and I had a entry trigger here, as you can see, but price, once that bar was formed, immediately pulled back up away from that trigger bar. And so I was really looking for a little bit of a price pattern. Had I entered at the low of this bar on that trigger, it still would have been a profitable trade. In fact, it would have been more profitable. But I was waiting for a little bit more of a pullback and then a break of a pivot. And I got that right here. Here's a little pivot that was put in. Again, price retraced. And you can see it's a very good price pattern for us. We put in a little low. We put in a lower high compared to the last swing. Another lower low compared to the last low. And then another lower high compared to the last swing. And also that was accompanied by a nice trigger that also fired off there. And instead of taking the entry below this trigger bar, I waited until we had a break of our little pivot here, which was at 11,922. So our entry on that trade was 11,921. We hit our first 2 profit objectives very quickly, 11,911 and 11,906. And then once again, we were using the SAR trailing stop. And we were never stopped out until we actually got to this level. The SAR at this point was 11,882. So our stop out on the final trade of the morning, and this was just before dead zone, was at 11,884. So on our last trade, plus 25 points on our first 2 contracts total, and then plus 37 points on the trailing stop on our final contract, for a total of 62 YM points on that trade. So for the morning, 5 trades. We had 4 wins, 1 loss, and a total, a very nice total, based on really 2 very nice trades, of 247 YM points. That's the trading for December 12th. Visit our website, futurestradingcompany.net. And if you sign our guest book and indicate your desire to be involved in our live Emini trading room, which will launch in January of 2012, indicate your desire to do that. If you are one of the first 10 people who indicate that, you will get 1 full month of free access to the trading room. We currently have 2 people that have signed up, so there are 8 spots remaining. So please visit our website, sign the guest book, and you will be included in our trading room when it launches in January. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and we'll post our trades tomorrow morning after we're through trading in the morning.